folks, this is Uso of Uso Gaming, and I know I've been away for a little while, a little over a month now actually, hard to believe. I started my job at the end of July, which you guys already knew about, and when classes started, I didn't think I was going to have a lot of work on my hands, but I more or less ended up having I think it was around the first week, I had 3 different projects. One of them designing a website. So I was doing lots of code writing for that. More or less, basically what I am just talking about today is I started playing the game called Tera, the Fate of Arun. And I think it's actually pretty interesting. The video you're watching right now is some video that I took earlier. It's on one of my alts, my Archer alt. My main's actually a 49 Lancer currently. And I'd say I'm actually pretty interested in it. It seems pretty cool. Doesn't seem, to me, compared to the other, quote-unquote free-to-play games that you see out there, this one didn't seem that vastly different when it came to new players coming into the game and paying money or not. Unlike when it came to Arcade, it's like you could be a new player and if you paid money, you would end up getting more resources and stuff. You would end up getting a landfill of stuff more than a free-to-play player, which would just really made the field unbalanced, and especially when it came to picking out your lots, purchasing lots. They had that hack where they had some people that won't even be nearby purchasing a lot. So, anyways, just want to say I'm actually pretty impressed with Tera. Originally, when I did I did a little bit of at the very beginning. That's actually how I created my Lancer. I created my Lancer a long time ago, only leveled him to 8. But at the time, I was a GM over in Elder Scrolls Online, so I was a bit busy with that. And I gotta say, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the game, and the Corsair Strongholds PvP mode is pretty interesting also, whereas it's what most players do. It's a little grindy because you gotta do that in order to get your Tensis gear from what I was told. But basically you end up grinding credits, Bellicarnium credits, and that goes towards purchasing your gear. One thing that I'll note right off, and I'm doing this for all the new players because I've come across it all the time. So the very first city that you end up going to after you leave Velica is called Lumbertown. All the new players out there, just be wary. As soon as you cross the bridge going north of Lumbertown, it is known as the PK zone, and that's because they'll have people in like full-on guilds over there, player killing people left and right. I personally, when I first started the game, I didn't read too much into it. There's actually a surprisingly lack of material regarding the game. I tried watching some YouTube videos, and most of the YouTube videos are like 7 months or older, and it's kind of unreal. So there's nothing like guides really out there that describes how things work. There wasn't many. I finally found one, by the way, regarding the Lancer PvP guide. But it doesn't seem like there's really any that are up to date or recent. A lot of the stuff is nearly a year old, if not older. And I know that they did have a patch some point past that with the Fate of Arun that ended up changing a lot of the content, and just thought that was kind of interesting how there just was a surprising lack of information. But yeah, I mean, anyways, so they have several different classes with this game, and the ones that I have started so far, so you got my Lancer, which is my main, my Sorcerer, so Lancer's 49, my Sorcerer is 42, my Archer, which in this video, he was a little bit lower, but right now he's at like level 19, Then I have a warrior at 15, and I have a priest at 11. And the reason why I'm doing a little bit of everything is because I'm trying to get a good grasp. I know that when I like to think very methodically when it comes to things like PvP, especially. I do PvE sometimes as well. It's just when it comes to PvP in a game, I'm fighting another player, another person that's thinking, as opposed to fighting a algorithm. So sometimes I get a little more into that, the PvP aspect of games. But I have to say, essentially what I ended up doing is I like to play a little bit of everything and try and get a good idea of their abilities and how they're used, and what can be used in this kind of situation. So you don't see a lot of people. There's a handful of people that do that, but most of the time people will level one main, and then they'll keep that, and they'll have one bank, maybe one banker, or they'll have one crafting too, and that's it. They won't do any more than that. I personally, and this has been from all my other video games, is I've always been an altaholic, so I've always had multiple alts. That way, say for instance, I felt like playing my sorcerer today. I wanted to do some range stuff today. Next week I decided I want to get up in people's faces with my warrior. So that's why I end up leveling a little bit of everything at that point. Let me take. But the priest, I noticed. So one of the first skills you get, it's kind of like your only skill really that you can heal other people with. That ends up consuming a lot of your mana, which I wouldn't recommend using at a lower level for one. But another thing I notice is you see tons of people playing gunners. Now, I understand people are saying gunners are the overpowered class right now, and gunners, yes, they do hit hard. However, gunners are prime when it comes to AoEing a group, and also if they have people with them. So here I come strolling in on this is when I was on my sorcerer originally, because my lancer was at 8, and I ended up leveling my sorcerer past to 42 before I started leveling my lancer afterwards. So I had two players that tried to gank me, and what happened was the lancer that they had would try to do CC, but if I maintained my distance from the lancer, he couldn't do anything to me. And what happened is that I kept on getting right up next to the gunner, and every time the gunner went to go hit one of their hot skills, I ended up just doing my iframe, jump out of the way, and I stun and hit. I stun and hit the gunner from the side, and the gunner was squishy. So even though it's really strong, it's like a gunner isn't going to be capable of decking out loads of damage if they're in an open area. If they're in a confined space, they're golden. Like the one thing that I noticed is in Lumbertown, a lot of the gunners will try and get people to line up on the bridge. So if somebody's on the bridge, you don't have anywhere to go, so you would have to backtrack or you have to run forward. So that's why you would end up seeing, some gunners at the end of the bridge trying to gank people. But as soon as they get out in the open field, if there's nobody else out there to help him in the open field, that gunner is easily, taken care of at that point. But so Archer, I'm gonna say right now, I really like my Archer, and I have one of my classes is introductory level, which I'm actually past that, but it's required for my degree, so I have to take it. And basically what I'm doing is while I'm observing the actual slides and everything regarding the history of introduction to information security and stuff like that, and basically what I'm doing is every so often I'll have a few interesting links regarding certain builds, and what I do is I like to take bits and pieces and mash them up into an amalgamation of my own. Um, but it's like right now, I've been playing the Archer often, and I'm actually going to be going on the Lancer just so I can get a 65 first. But I think the Archer might end up becoming my main because I feel like I'm a little bit more in sync with that class right now. Um, I had a Berserker on another server. I'm gonna be honest, like I'm not a huge fan of the real slow. Like it hits really hard, and this has been just any RPG in general. This is not just this game. So any RPG, I've never been really a fan of the two-handed mace, and it's simply because of just how slow it is. Sure, it hits hard. Sure, in RPG, not so much as MMOs, but you would do bludgeoning damage, weakening your opponent's armor. It's just like as slow as it moves. I was not a fan of that. That's where I get more interested in the warrior, because the warrior, you got the dual wield and you're moving real quick with those weapons. Gunner, haven't even touched it, honestly. I've seen so many gunners, and I'm one of those people where I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna stand out, play a different class. I mean, I always like to see having at least one gunner in my group. Both, well, PvP, of course, we're gonna have gunners, but I mean, like in PvE, when I'm doing dungeons and stuff, I really like the gunners for the AoE damage, because there are a lot of times where I'm tanking on my Lancer, and there's actually tons of mobs in a room, and it's like not many classes can drop AoE as much as a gunner can. So, next, the Lancer. That's right now. That's my highest level character, 49. I got more or less my rotation down. Right now I'm just working on building his stats a little bit higher so he can actually have... originally I had really good mitigation, and I was able to go through Necromancer Tomb like nothing, and all the other previous dungeons like nothing. As soon as I get to Golden Labyrinth, hit a steel wall at that point, just a brick wall, just gone. That was a little bit harder. Had a boss crit me for 33k. So, anyways, I'm gonna be talking a little bit more about the classes and everything. So you got the Mystic, the Priest, which are kind of your healing and support class. Slayer, that's another one, your DPS. Then you got your Sorcerer, my 42 Sorcerer. Warrior, and Reaper. Reaper is the one I see tons of people also playing. So it's Reaper and Gunner are the two main ones I see play. I didn't mean to really rush through that. I'm just trying to make these videos a little bit shorter. But I'm going to be doing more in-depth videos, and I'm going to be focusing more on individual things as opposed to just giving like a brief thing, brief introductory regarding the game. But I gotta say, the world PvP in this game, even on the more quote-unquote dead or recommended servers, is actually pretty alive, so I'm really happy about that. A lot of games, their world PvP is non-existent, which is pretty sad. Anyways, this is Uso, thanks for joining me, and you guys have a lovely day.